Hi guys, how are you?
Hey,
Good.
good to see you.
I'm very excited to that the rom-com is very much back. This movie was so cute. I loved it so much.
Cool.
And so for you both, it's such an interesting kind of way of telling their meeting and their story because we get to see like the stories they're telling happen as they are explaining it to each other. And it's really kind of cool to see those intersections throughout the film. And so what drew both of you to the movie in the first place and made you want to be a part of it? Dave, if you want to start, or
Yeah,
Vivian.
sure. No, no, no. No, I think for me, this is a kind of like it's a romantic comedy set in Peckham, which I really think there's something to taking on something that you don't really know too well as an actor. We're both like kind of finding our way into this, so to challenge
Babies.
yourself, yeah,
Mhm.
we're babies, but to challenge yourself, as an actor, I think is very important in genre, in style, in how big you can take things, how small you can take things. So for me, instantly, I was like, this just feels like a challenge, especially coming off the back of some of the jobs I did previously. It just felt like something completely opposite, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to. That's what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, similarly playing someone who you didn't immediately relate to, and maybe even felt curious of maybe hadn't met in their entirety, and then
Mm,
to build them and create them and understand like their motivations. Like that's what you want.
yeah.
And it's always a joy to do that. It's kind of what like makes you excited for the job, I guess. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's what drew me to Yes. And then the script's so funny. So funny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a little bit
yeah, a little
funny.
bit funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it had some great lines. Like, I love when he has quotes Casablanca, but kind of puts her own twist on it. Like, I was just
Mm.
like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
She was like, whatever, I don't care. But talking about her, Vivian, her arc is so not it's not upsetting. Like, you're not like sobbing, but it is kind of like you see how everyone turned on her, and she's like, I had one friend left. Everyone didn't believe me, and I had my one friend.
Mm.
And kind of like her journey throughout this and doing the big grand gestures and all these stuff is so sweet to see in a rom-com, because normally we've started to push back on what we know rom-coms to be, but Yaz really kind of was the embodiment of flipping it on its head.
Mm.
And so for you, was that fun to know like you are that like character that like we've tried so hard to make a female character who can like do the grand gesture and it works and you understand it?
Yeah, it's like an honor to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and awesome. I think as well as like a woman, like, we're messy and complicated, and we're not just there to like facilitate the self-discovery of like a man. We have like our own kinks that we need to iron out as well. And I think the fact they can both go on these kind of opposite journeys and then meet back
Mhm.
up is
Yeah.
really gorgeous. Yeah, so it was great. It was great to play. Yeah.
And David, I do love that your character is constantly act like the way Yaz talks about him, where she's like, he's rich, he is an accountant, and you're dating this guy who doesn't have a job. Like, I do love that. Even though distorted dick, like it took me out every time I was in a scene.
Facts,
Like that
facts.
guy was in a scene, and I was like, I can't stop laughing at this man. Um, but he is kind of like that. He's not soft spoken, but he is sort of more into himself and like taking everything on his shoulders and kind of carrying everyone else's guilt as his own. Um, for you as an actor, is that fun to explore, or is that a lot to kind of put on yourself within these characters? Like he's kind of a ball of nerves because he's
Yeah.
putting all this guilt on him.
But yeah, he does. He definitely does. I mean, I think it's a bit of both, right? Because in one scenario he's like a ball of nerves, but in another scenario he's like hella emotional. You know what I mean? Like he's very much like if he feels like crying, he's gonna cry, and if he feels like like laughing or screaming in the street and doing a little dance, like he's gonna do it. And I really love that about him. Like he has as we all do, extremes, and
Mhm.
being able to find those in between moments was like the the jump for me as an actor, which I loved. I like Dom. I'd go for a drink with Dom. I think he's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Dog rules.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really did love this movie. It was so cool
Oh,
to kind of like see a rom-com without like, the bells and whistles that modern rom-coms have. It was just a straightforward, cute rom-com. It was so
Oh,
Thank you so
thank you
much.
guys.
That's really kind. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank-
one.